I said, look, I've been to Stanford, MIT, and Harvard, all these places. They have good facility, but there is nothing like this here. And this is unique. So there is even though the word is getting out, but I think people in the investment community have a hard time comprehending why Albany. What's so exciting about Albany? So more visibility they get. So what we even have to go out and have a video, people come here and take pictures and talk to Pradeep and talk to everybody else, which is on our website, so they could see what's here. So I think New York State and New York City has so much investment capital. Somehow that has to be found a way to bring it up here. And I don't know how that will work. I guess we all have to go to New York to get the money.
Call Jack Welch.
There you go.
Yeah, just kind of echo what Steve said. As we've talked to the venture capital firms looking to raise money, we've even said, would you be willing to move to Denver? Because if you come to Denver, we'd be happy to fund you, but not in Albany. I think for a lot of the VC firms in Boston, if they go to Worcester, that's almost getting too far out of their area. So part of the problem here is that there hasn't been a really active group of angels in the last 5 or 10 years. There are some angel investors in the area, but it hasn't been really active. And there are only a couple of VC firms, and both of those are kind of at the end of their fund. So you just don't have you don't have that kind of financing available in this area. Now I know there's a group working hard to try to fix some of that, particularly in some of the seed money investing, and I think that'll help a lot.
Let me throw this back at you. Some of the investors, the venture capitalists that we've talked to, they come around here quite a bit, they snoop around. One of their key issues is there isn't enough deals here. If there were enough deals, so it's like a chicken and egg conundrum that we're facing right now. We do need to build critical mass, both on the supply side as well as on the demand side, right? And that's the missing piece, because I've talked to a lot of VCs that come here and they look at the place and they say, okay, introduce me to all of these deals. And yeah, we can, at any given time, we can introduce, I mean, they're looking for good deals, not any idea that's, scratched on a piece of paper. So it's both. There's the funding as well as the deals.
So I have a question. If you have a good technology and you're a startup and you are banging your head on a brick wall in this country trying to raise funds, and your foreign companies or investors are very interested in you and make you offers you can almost not refuse, what is to stop these companies from going? This is on a larger scale than Albany. This is for the United States. Why should we not sell out to the Middle East? To India, to China? Why should we stay here? Why should we try and build a employee base with the technology when nobody here is supporting it?
Bring that foreign capital in. We have half of our investment capital in our last round actually came from outside the United States. So I think look to the world for capital right now, and there's no harm in bringing it back to the U.S.
Most of them want us to go there. They don't want to come.
Well, I guess the answer is you have to make the decision that works for you. We're looking, I'm looking right now at investing in an energy technology company that has a potential for a $4 to $6 million, what they call a B round, that would come in from Kazakhstan. Now, if that's where they can get the good money and the deal is right, then I have to say, given the current overall cloth of both policy, politics, and economics, you have to do what's right for you. And if that's what's right for you, then who am I to say no? You may not like it in a global sense, but it is a global world.
I agree. There is no angel money left in this area. They all go to Florida. But I think there's one source that we don't do enough to use, and that's the customer. If you really have a good idea, a good product, find a customer that wants that so badly. They will will pay you ahead of time, so you have the money to make it. I have another company. I'm on 10. I mean, there's all. I got a story for every company. This company takes crumb rubber. They buy for 15 cents a pound. They mold it into all kinds of sign bases, rumble strips, etc. Sells it for $1 a pound, $1.25. And they have been at 400,000, 500, 600, back down to 350 in 08 when the construction business died, back up to 450. Last December, a company called them. They had no money. They're never made a real profit. A company called them, got their name from the web, and said, "We need your product. We got $1 million opportunity." And the company said, "Can you pay us ahead to make the molds for your custom product?" The customer said, yes. They had never done that before. We, in the last 2 months, have more than doubled the sales of the company on the customer's money. The customer wants your product, they ought to pay you up front for it. It's another test of how good your product is.
This question back there? Go ahead.
Yeah, Steve, you mentioned that when you started out as CEO, you didn't know how to talk to investors. And certainly we see that a lot at NYSERDA and the proposals that we get. The proposers are technology people. They really don't understand how to make a presentation. They really don't understand that they're asking us for money. And there's certain things that we're looking for. So is there advice from any of you on the panel, because so many of you have been successful with your proposals at NYSERDA, is there any advice as to how we can get better proposals?
I've never sent a proposal to NYSERDA, so.
Yeah.
I haven't either, but I guess speaking on behalf of the organization of Incubators that I run, the Clean Energy Alliance, and clearly there's a lot of capability available within Incubators. There's one, in fact, one of our members is right here, that are really expert in helping to put together the packages needed to make professional presentations. And within the capabilities of Incubators, you can have the full range of technical, commercial, financial, and presentation kinds of skills available at very, very reasonable, and in some cases at no cost. And one of the things that I'm endeavoring to do is make the availability of these capabilities and services much more well known, because they are a terrific birthplace for entrepreneurs. So I'd say, talk about us more, and we'll talk about us more as well.
I will say that the new program that Mike is now just starting to run here is going to obviously help a lot of the companies to develop into being able to, slick up their presentations, their business plans, and be able to make
But
them
not
better.
the proposals to NYSERDA.
And the proposals to NYSERDA.
No, not the proposals to NYSERDA.
I think there's definitely a training aspect, and I think also trial and error. We were rejected on our first proposal, and that was a good learning experience. We'd probably be writing worse proposals today if we just had that first one go through. So reject more people.
Do that.
Most of you are talking about taking an idea that you already have and running with it. What happens with the R&D? How do you encourage young people or old people to get into that, as you once said, hobby, to push that a little further? And I think that sort of goes to one of the questions that were asked. How do you encourage people around here to go into the hobby of first thinking about ideas that are there? And we're talking about an energy forum, one about regulations that are very repressive at this point for certain issues, especially solar panels. Where and how are we going to start pushing this to encourage that, to reach the step that you're at, to now take that thought one step beyond into the venture capital. Is that initial point that I find missing in this particular talk on encouraging that hope, that dream, rather than discouraging it and say you only are having a hobby. Let's produce that hobby from all the people that are around. You know, growing up in New York City, there was a dearth of factories, shops, machine shops, and everything else that you could either go and have stuff made or go as a youngster and learn some of those trades and then take off from that. We don't have that up here yet, other than the Nanotech school and some of our other technical schools, but we don't have it on a non-school basis. And I think that's some of the problems that I would like to see encouraged. How do we get some of the large companies that are still here to encourage that R&D aspect?
Les wants to respond to this one. I mean, give him a chance, then we'll get back to you guys. Should I put you on the panel? Is that what you're saying?
You know, we have several things, not only up here, but throughout New York State, to help people develop and encourage innovation and ideas. I think when Jim said before, you got to separate what is a hobby and what is a business. A hobby is something to enjoy, it's something to learn from, it's something to occupy time, and that's fine. But if you're looking to translate that hobby, research into a hobby, into a business, then it's no longer just a hobby. There are community colleges, there are BOCES, there are companies that would love to entertain a research project, a hobby, and be able to turn it into a commercially viable innovation that can be commercialized. I think you're kind of minimizing what is available to you throughout the region. I implore you to explore more, dig a little bit deeper, because those things exist. And I think you should look a little bit deeper into the community colleges, into the BOCES, into different places who would be happy to help you. And certainly look to the incubators. It's a great source for contacts, for advice, oftentimes regrettably free advice, but advice nonetheless, and you'd be able to thrive.
I guess just with respect to the panel, I'd say it also shows that we did very well in focusing on the issues that Pradeep had asked us to focus on.
So you don't want to answer that one?
Well, no, I mean, beyond that, again, I would say that there are, I mean, certainly would be, even beyond just the support in the whole variety of skills that are available in incubators, there's also an incredible network of connections that comes from the incubators. And again, on behalf of Clean Energy Alliance, it's one of the things I'm striving for, is right now creating a nationwide board of advisors that would basically be a toolbox of expertise available to all of the members and through them to their companies to help bridge any of the challenges that new companies face. And by the way, I'll send out an invitation. If anyone's interested in participating in such a board, let me know. I'm looking to form an organization across every area of expertise that can range from engineering to finance to commercial art, anything that new companies need to help them make better presentations, for example, and win grants so that they can take the next step. So, open invitation. Please see me about that.